Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So a lot of information has been coming through, and very clearly the conversation that I'm being guided towards is a few things. So it has to do with communication and our love language. The first thing is, okay, so anything that I'm sharing, please don't take it as any rule or any way that you're supposed to conduct yourself. I'm not here asking you to conduct yourself by any means how I do. I'm just sharing information that comes to mind to me, and that I ponder, or that I consider, or that I'm working through, or that I'm looking for whatever reason my mind brings up to conversate about. And those are the reasons I do my readings, is to share with you what I feel is a conversation with my higher self. At this point, how I look at it also is, this for me is a very sacred space. But when there's people in the world that have taboo beliefs, or that say things like, don't talk about this, or don't share your good dreams, don't share your good news, or don't share anything that you're doing that can potentially get stolen, robbed, misused, mocked, in any way abused, right? That's the intention, and it's a good intention. It's like, yeah, you don't wanna, what is it? Cast your pearls onto swine, is what they say, right? And I get that. I get why they're saying, I get the intention. But there's something about that when you are sure of what you want to do, when you are sure of what you need to say, when you don't regret it, when you don't feel guilty, when you don't feel like what you're saying or doing is wrong, when you don't feel that what you're saying or doing is in any way manipulating or influencing negatively someone purposely, if you know that those are not your intentions, then there's no reason why you cannot just speak your truth or speak your mind, right? And it might seem like, to some people it might be like common sense, so obviously speak your mind. To some people it's very easy, just speak your mind. The reason why there's so much taboo on speaking your mind is because of the consequences of what it means to speak your mind. And if you're not emotionally or mentally prepared to deal with the backlash of people's misunderstandings, if you're not prepared to deal with people challenging why you think what you think, or why you feel what you feel, and then they want to project what they think you are, or who they think you are, and then they have the what's the word? Is it the prowess? I hate saying that word, but it's like that's the word that comes out. They have this kind of charisma, I guess you could say, to influence others to switch up what you said, to misinform or to misguide based on what. And then if you don't have what it takes to clarify and stand firm on where you stand, then that's what can harm you. That's what can make you go into a shell. That's what can make you not want to speak out. Those are the things that happened to me, that anytime I came up with some outside the box idea or some random question that made others uncomfortable, or that they didn't know how to answer, or that they didn't like the fact that they were being questioned and they couldn't answer you, those are the things that people have done to mock or to make nonsense of what you have to say. And I guess that's why I speak what I do. That's why I am particular about how I do it. For instance, having a YouTube channel, the algorithm wants to make you believe that this is your job and you have to do it like every other 9 to 5 job, and kind of be this wheel, this cog on a wheel, whatever they call that, right? Like just be the machine. You're not a machine to a system. You're not a machine to society. You're not a machine to anything. So let me just rephrase that. We, the audience that resonates with this message, we don't operate on those standards. We understand the rhythm of life. We understand that this is not, this message is of value because as far as I'm concerned, I'm bringing information and I'm shedding light to what's in the dark. And that is valuable because when you really look around society, a lot of people rather stay quiet, the don't ask, don't tell kind of energy, or those that talk don't have integrity to speak accurately or to speak factually. They speak biased. They speak based on what they want you to believe is true. They need you to side with them. So when you have someone that has no intention of having you side, other than if you've been there, done that, or if you feel how I feel, or if you've been through what I've been through, or if you understand where I'm coming from, then that's all it is. It's resonance. It's coexistence. It's shared space. It's a space where we can relate on certain things. That might sound also because I always hear, well, where's that coming from? Well, why are you saying that to me? And why is it? And those are the conversations that I generally am approached by. If I was to even have this conversation at random with someone, it comes across as, why are you telling me this? Because some people, A, are not in the same space as you, B, are not interested in sharing the dialogue. And I'm not saying I haven't been there. We all have selectivity. We all select who we want to engage with. So we can all be in those same ways. But that the less interaction you want with individuals, the more you're able to hone in on separating yourself from others, because it's necessary sometimes to really get clear on, this is where I am for me, not for, not to please these people, not to do what society says I'm supposed to know. This is where I stand. It's like knowing how to have those boundaries is important, but not losing a sense of compassion, which leads me to the next conversation, that because we all have our different love languages, I think one of the most complicated things is loving people how you want to love them, as opposed to loving people how you've been kind of obligated to love them based on their limitations. And I say it that way because this is, from my perspective, there are people in my life that I would want to be more loving towards, that I've learned I cannot be loving towards this person in this way, because when I respond to them in this way, their response to me is that way, is a way that I don't feel good. It's a way, it's not received the way I intended to be received. So therefore I have to not give it in this way, right? But that builds a sense of like, I don't even want to deal with you then. What's the point of dealing with you if how I am, how I want to be towards you, if I want to be affectionate with you, or if I want to be interested in you, or if I want to, discuss topics with you from a different perspective or from a different level. And your response whenever we do that is to shut down, react, or to get defensive, then it builds a wall that basically you have to learn to live with if you want to live with, interacting with someone that you love that's limited in their capacity to receive love. And it's like, okay, getting through that is one thing, but then getting to the place of actually acceptance, now there's like, if it's done healthy, you don't take offense to the limits of others in their capacity to receive or to share with you. What you end up doing is you take all that energy for yourself and you create something that you love with yourself, and you build upon that, which is why there's a lot of people that create their channels on YouTube because they're sharing their passions that they can't share with others. This is what I do. This is what I like to do. I like to talk about things that and conversate and ponder upon things that many people wouldn't be interested in. So therefore, at least in my surroundings. So instead of putting myself through the experience of, hey buddy, let's have a conversation. Let's be friends. Yeah, no, I don't need to be friends with you, because the reason to be friends with someone is to be interested in them, to get to know them, to get to discover aspects of them in a safe way. Not to discover parts of people that are going to attack you, not to discover parts of people that are going to try to harm you, not to discover, and that's going into the shadow. And when we go into the shadow like that, it can make a lot of people say, fuck that, I'm not dealing with nobody anymore, and become extremely isolated and say, I refuse to, I refuse to want to discover you any further, or I refuse to let you discover me any further. And that's what boundaries are. It's like, nope. But the problem is, you do that with one person, and now it becomes a pattern with everyone. I think that's where the damaged narcissistic energy comes from. It's like, oh, I got hurt by this person for saying this or for doing this, and they shut me out, shut me down. Therefore, I am never going to do that with anyone ever. And instead of going about life, and letting that heal and then going back to being how you are, another person, another time, another place, no, it's like, I'll never do that again. And that's where people get really fucked. And that's where they really screw themselves up. And that's sad. It's very sad, because you miss out on potential. And so, like, even when you have loved ones in your life that you're like, God, this person is so stubborn, or this person is so immature, or this person is so cruel, yet I have a love for them, because that's not who they are. That's who they've become, or that's just a part of their personality that they, you got to tiptoe around, because if you don't, that the demon comes out and you have to deal with the consequences. And it's like, no, I don't want to have to beat the animal out of you. I don't want to have to do that. And I also am not going to subject myself to that part of you. So if being limited means, or if limiting myself to you means no contact, if limiting myself means just no communication, if limiting myself to you means no interaction at all, like, you just cannot, I cannot open this door to you, then that's their loss. That's their loss. And because the capacity to open the door is always there when you're healed. The problem is when you force it shut down, like when somebody tries to make me feel like, this is what happens when I do my videos. There'll be that voice that says, you don't want to share this, you don't want to talk about that, they may not like this. Who are they, right? And then you might think, oh, that's just in my mind. But then you go ahead and do it. And then you just scroll for 5 minutes online, and you'll realize what the algorithm is showing you, and how people actually think of you, and how people actually feel about what you said. It has, whatever you're seeing online isn't necessarily about what you're seeing. It's the response to the energy you've put out. You see what comes back. When you see what comes back, you realize, wow, the judgments that are there, or you'll see the love that is there, depending on where you are and how you feel, and whether or not you've grown. So there's a liberation that comes with speaking your mind, not fearing the consequences, not caring what people think, not from a place of lack of compassion, but from a position of knowing that whatever they bring, whatever they, it's like, go ahead, challenge me, please, by all means. You want to say that I'm doing this? Go ahead, make your position. State your position. Go ahead, say what you think I'm doing. Go ahead, tell me who you think I am. Go ahead, tell others what you think this means, and let's have that conversation. And there comes in debating, but most people can't debate on common ground. They'll debate throwing things left field. They debate with trying to insult who you are as a person, because they can't make their points valid. And that's what shows that the point that they're making simply comes from either their ignorance, their lack of understanding, or their prejudice. And that's all, folks. Anyway, gosh, I wasn't planning on saying all that. So, I feel like there was more to say about it. But anyway, all right. Just something I wrote. I created my dreams, not fantasies. Fantasies are unrealistic. Dreams are doable. Fantasies are passing and entertaining. Dreams are rooted and grounded. Fantasies escape you into abysses. Dreams are made to live in reality. Fantasies vanish. Dreams nurtured and carefully procured to become. Okay. I'm sure that was grammatically not all correct, but it's just some things that came through. I think in this point, the point that I'm making here is that know the difference between just an illusion, a fantasy, versus an actual dream, a seed that was planted in your heart, something that it doesn't matter how long it's going to take you, it doesn't matter what it is that you have to go through in life, that dream will come to flourish at its, when it's ready to, as long as you are consistently. That's why I say dreams are doable. A dream versus a fantasy. The fantasy is just, I'm going to meet this person in this country and they are going to make my life perfect. That's a fantasy. It's a fun fantasy. It's a great way to project, good things to come. A dream, however, is something that I am going to be what attracts those things that I want. Requires one to elevate their mind and who they are as a person. So, yeah, you're going to be rich one day, but if your version of rich is somebody's going to come and take care of me and make me rich, I'm not saying that cannot happen. What I'm saying is you can sit there and dream that dream all day, but if you're just sitting there expecting that to occur without you doing anything, at all, then clearly it's just a fantasy, not something that you're even taking seriously, because you're not doing anything towards making it happen. You're not putting yourself in the places where that can happen. You're not being who you need to be in those places. That takes consistency. Okay. Speak when you are ready, not to seek validation. Don't listen when they tell you to keep quiet. What they mean is don't speak until you're prepared to accept what comes. When you're ready to, because there's no questioning or placing doubt in you. If you seek validation, you already gave them that energy to enter and shift you. And if you're not prepared, that is why they say don't speak until you're ready. You don't want to give somebody the power to go into your consciousness and make you doubt what you know to be true for you. Therefore, when you speak, you don't just throw out ideas. Yeah, I know I'm great. Oh yeah, well, prove it. Well, now if you're just saying it and you really don't even know why you're great, they're just going to mock you and they're going to say, ha, you're nothing. Oh, okay. Now, obviously, that's, elementary version of it. But it happens in real time, in real life, in adulthood, where you want that new position, or you want to get that new home, or you want to raise your standards of living, and you want to do the things, and you're ready for it. And somebody's like, you can't do it. You ain't great. Yeah, I can. Now you got to fight for it. Now you got to argue about it. Now you got to prove yourself. Only for them to for them not to even really be considering. They know you are. They just want you to jump through hoops to prove it. They know you're qualified. They just want you to jump through hoops to prove it. And a lot of them would love to punish you for having the audacity of thinking you can be part of their, existence, as if you don't over-qualify to exist. I know. People are people. People are people, so what could it be? Who is that? I forgot what song that is, or who sings it, but I know that it's a song. Oh, okay. We're going to, once again, cinnamon. For one, I love the smell. I love its effects. And its properties, I guess you could say. Okay. So, I swear there was something I was going to do when I came on here. It wasn't just to have those conversations. I feel like there was a bigger conversation I was going to have. All right, so, wait, I know what we can do. We are going to use my cosmic cards. What do I call these? My astrology cards? I don't even know what they're called, really. They are astrology cards. What energies should we focus on today? Dignified strength. Clarify dignified strength. Vesta, hearth. So there is strength in your spirit. There's strength in your own flame. Cannot be, it's protected. Your flame is protected. It's like you've elevated and you've put yourself in a position where you cannot be you can't be let's just say you're protected and your flame is protected. So it's almost like they cannot covet what is yours. Ay, something like that. Cannot covet what is not yours. I think there's a lot of sensitivity in the air. This is Pisces energy. There is, it's like your sensitivities, in a sense, are protected. I think what I was just talking about, like, for example, sharing a dream. If you were to put this fire in front of a lot of people, thinking, hey, look, this is going to benefit us. It's going to keep us warm. It's going to protect us from predators or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you just light a fire in some random island and it's just you and a bunch of people you don't know. And you're trying to explain to them the power of this fire. That's a setup. You don't know how people are going to react. You don't know if people are going to come and try to, take it. And then if they try to get near it and get burned, they want to lash out and, attack because, oh my God, why did you bring this very, painful thing into my life? Why did you provide this flame that burned me? And you're trying to explain, no, look, it has to be protected from the elements. It has to be, if you burn it out, or if you don't throw water at it, you can't even communicate all these things because it's something that they haven't seen before. So you're sensitive in the sense that your energy has to be protected and it has to be managed properly, which is why I feel like the dignified strength is letting us know that the flame is protected and it's in a place that it cannot be misused or because of the value of it, because of the power of it, because of what it represents, or because what it provides, or because what it does for the collective is valuable, it's important, and therefore it has to be put in a space where it cannot be dimmed or used to cause harm. We have the first house arrival, so something is coming. You could be receiving a package. You could be receiving a message. Someone could be arriving. Now, when I thought of package, Some people might not like what is arriving for them, and for some it could be karma. Karma isn't like something you're not aware of. Karma is, oh, there's that thing that I left unresolved. It's coming back for me to respond to it better. Now that's a nice way of putting it. Karma could also be a rude awakening, and I'll tell you how that can be. I don't want to project negativity of any kind to anyone, but let's say you walk every day from here to there, wherever that is, but you have your headphones on, you got sunglasses on, you're not really aware of your surroundings. You just walk from here to there every day, and you're not aware. One day, somebody could have told you, hey, you might want to do that without your headphones on so you could hear what's going on around you. Hey, you might want to take your sunglasses off so you can see clearly. Not everything is what it seems. But you're like, whatever, don't tell me what to do. I know exactly what I'm doing. But one day as you're walking, your glasses fall off and you realize, oh my God, all along I thought this was this way. I thought that was this color. Or, you start to notice all the things that you didn't notice before. And you're actually looking, where am I actually? I never noticed that this was here. When did they build this here? All these things that you're just starting to notice because it's become such a routine to go from here to there, from here to there, from here to there, in your own way, kind of like oblivious to everything. And suddenly you realize, if I'm seeing things so differently now, let me take off my headphones. Holy shit. What is that noise? What is that sound? Oh, now that you're hearing things clearly, like the noises or the chaos around you, holy shit, you could start to freak out. You could start to say, oh my God, I can't believe I'm walking right here. Look, I could have been hit, or I could have been, all these people are around. I didn't even know that there was people. I would have dressed different, or I would have, if I had known. There's that kind of feeling. If I had known, I would have presented this or like that. Those can feel bad in some ways when you think, oh, my standards were lower than I thought. That can be a scary thing. Or, wow, I was more exposed than I thought. I didn't realize how I didn't even know I was in such a place. Like, imagine realizing you were in the middle of a war zone and you were not even aware of that. You thought, oh no, I'm just, this is my neighborhood. This is how life is. No, you live in a war zone and you're not even aware of it. All of a sudden you start to see all the dangers. So you can wake up to certain realities that you were completely blinded to. And it doesn't have to be so literal. It could, but if you get the metaphor or what I'm trying to say, karma isn't, oh, you hurt me, you're gonna get hurt. I'm gonna hurt you back. Some people think that they are personal karmas to other people, and they go out and say, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hurt this person just the way they hurt me, thinking that what they did to you has anything to even do with you. Somebody does harm to you, somebody did something evil to you, that's everything to do with them. And trust and believe what they have caused you, that they're completely unaware of, what you experienced that you feel was unfair or that you feel wasn't yours to go through. you might say, well, that must have been my karma, that pain. And it's like, yes, but no, it's not, oh, they did this to me because somebody said you did it to them. No, it's you experience pain based on your vulnerabilities. That has nothing to do with bad karma. But in the way that we think, like, oh, it's because I did something bad or wrong. No, the pain you experience, it could be unprocessed pain that you didn't even know you had. You could be very strong. You could have been very dignified in your strength, and people just hurt you, and you kind of put it in a little pocket, and you keep on moving. You keep it moving. You keep it moving, because it's like, I cannot let another person's pain drag me down. But if you don't process it and you just keep going through it, acting like it's not happening, what you're basically, you're holding on to something because you haven't processed it. And the only way that you can actually process it is not by pretending it isn't there. Is not by acting like, you know what, let karma deal with them. Let them. No, yeah, karma is going to deal with them. That means that which you think you're doing to another person, you're actually doing to yourself, and one way or another, it comes back to you. Okay, so if your intention, like, yeah, I want you to burn and die, bitch. If you think like that in real life, for real, like you actually wish that for someone else because you haven't dealt with how you feel with yourself, then at some point you're going to experience that for yourself to see what it is. But also, to make the message a little more clear, I think, because I'm seeing it from the two perspectives. You could be receiving, what you think is like, this is, what did I do wrong? Why am I in pain? Or why am I going through something so challenging when all I did was give this or do that or whatever? That's not, pain isn't, okay, that's what I want to say. The pain you go through isn't a punishment. It's not a punishment. I don't forget I said always. The pain you experience isn't a punishment. The pain you experience is the awareness of what you were not aware of. Whether that's by you weren't aware because your innocence, in other words, you didn't know what this was doing this was going to do that. You didn't know behaving this way was going to cause those consequences, whatever it is. But it could also be that, let's say you did do something unkind and someone told you and you ignored them and you ignored them and you ignored them. You might feel like that's a punishment. And what it is the consequence for that, the consequence that you receive from doing something you shouldn't do, and you keep on doing, acting like, well, there's no consequence, I'm just going to keep doing it. The consequence eventually comes, and you know that you can't be and play victim, especially if you knew about it. So now that does feel like a punishment, but it was if you've been warned for so long and you ignored the warnings, you can't get mad at life when life shows you. You know what I mean? That is karma too. So karma is just the consequence of your ignorance, period. Karma is a consequence of your ignorance. And a lot of times your ignorance could be self-imposed ignorance, a choice to be ignorant, or an innocence that makes you, ignorant. And sometimes when I say your innocence, it's like you could have just been completely oblivious to a reality based on your society grooming you to believe a certain way, your society being built in ways that limit you. So when I say arrival, the arrival of the blessing or the consequence. We have Scorpio, investigate. You're being asked to investigate. What is the pinnacle of your success? We have the midheaven here. Maybe we're being pulled to really take a deeper analysis into what motivates success or what motivates us to succeed. We have 10th house authority. Fifth house, passion. Series, nurture. And one more. Virgo, digest. Okie dokes. So investigate, what is success to you? Look into what is the authority either over you or the authority that you have when it comes to your passions, when it comes to how you nurture yourself or others. It also seems like maybe like the arrival of a new family member, for example, like a new baby. It could even be a new pet, could be a partner, someone that's arriving, either that's going to bring a lot of nurturing into your life, or that is going to provide, or that is going to provide the space for you to be nurturing. Either way, it's a win-win. The one that wants to nurture and the one that needs to receive the nurture. This could be a positive gift from the universe. So maybe really pondering what success means to you. Because this is castles in the sky, but this is true success also, you know? The pinnacle, the midheaven. But it also comes with a level of authority. With great power comes great responsibility, is what I'm seeing here. So being sensitive to what you're passionate about, or sensitive to the passions within you. Nurture those things, your creative, I'm saying like nurture creative arts. And the digest feels like that whatever you, whatever comes from this investigation, self-investigating what truly is the pinnacle of your success, what truly is your authority in terms of your dignified strength, in terms of your hearth, your inner flame, and how you nurture your passions and how you receive what's arriving. It's going to require for you to process this. sixth house, sustainability. So it's like this is what you have to kind of like break down, understand, process, clear, move through in order to find sustainability, in order to be sustainable energy, sustainable success, passion. This is like kind of like what we discussed with the hearth. It's like putting your passions in a place that's dignified in its strength so that it can sustain the hearth or sustain the warmth so it doesn't burn out, so that it doesn't get misappropriated or misused. Okay? Okie dokie. I'll come back when I'm inspired to do another message, which will probably be pretty soon. I'll come back. Take care.